Watford host Manchester City on Saturday, less than 72 hours after the Citizens' Champions League tie at Feyenoord. City open their European campaign for the year in Rotterdam tomorrow night and have a relatively quick turnaround for the game at Vicarage Road. It is a bugbear of many of the top managers in England's top flight that the league does not do enough to move fixtures and make sure their teams have enough recovery time both before and after their European adventures. Whilst none of those involved in Europe this week were forced to play on Sunday, leading to a rather boring set of Super Sunday games, they have not been afforded the same luxury after the games. Read more from forgotten man to the first name on the team sheet. The evolution of Abdoulaye Doucouré. That might be a negative for the top 7 sides, but it could help those teams who play them this weekend. Over the course of the next few months, Watford travel to Chelsea after they clash with Roma and Everton after the midweek trip to Lyon. But for now, we'll focus on City's record after a midweek European game. Pep Guardiola has only been in charge for one season, so it is a relatively small sample of games. And it makes for encouraging reading for Hornets supporters hoping they can topple City for the first time since arriving back in the Premier League. City set the league alight at the start of Guardiola's reign last season, and that is reflected in their early results post-Champions League games. They won 41 at Stoke after a long trip to Bucharest, before beating West Ham 31 after the home leg and Bournemouth 40 after the first group game. After that it got more difficult for Guardiola's men. Spurs beat them 2-0 after an enthralling tie with Celtic. Southampton came to the Etihad and drew 11 after a clash with Barcelona, and Middlesbrough also secured a 11 draw days after City had beaten the Spanish giants at home. A 21 victory at Burnley after playing that Borussia Mönchengladbach is not to be sniffed at given the Claret's stunning home record last season, but the 42 defeat at Leicester City after Celtic's visit was a horror show for Guardiola. Read more. Champions League side wanted Watford new boy prior to Vicarage Road switch. That was it pre-Christmas, and when the Champions League resumed, City had a weekend off after the first leg at Monaco and drew 11 with Liverpool shortly after being knocked out by the French side. 4 victories, 2 defeats and 3 draws in total, and there are 2 ways of looking at those results. The first is that playing them in September is the worst possible time, or that after the initial burst under Guardiola, City's performances after European exploits are not at the level you would expect. In truth, the results after midweek games are incredibly similar to what they achieved for the rest of the season. Marco Silva and Guardiola are both coaches who like to heavily drill their game plans into the players before games, though, and Watford have an advantage in that respect. Whether or not a tough night in the cauldron of noise that will undoubtedly be created by the Feyenoord fans at the QIP tomorrow evening has a negative impact remains to be seen. A Steven Bergwijn winner to demoralise City and set Watford up for a memorable victory on Saturday. Do not bet against it. Read more. Manchester City game a great opportunity, says Watford defender.